I'm not going to lie, I procrastinated in the preparation of this very speech. For those that have seen and heard my speeches in the past, you know that I pride myself on my preparation, my organization, and my execution. But for the authenticity of this speech, I elected to procrastinate to show the discernible difference between being prepared and procrastinating. If there's one thing that I want to get my message across to all the members of the audience today, it is do not procrastinate. And I have 3 tips. The first, understand what you're getting yourself into before you sign up for something. 2, accept the fact that life will not get any easier when you decide to take on a new task. And 3rd, get ahead and stay ahead where applicable. Now I believe that I was getting ahead in spring of 2012 when the registration period opened to register for classes in the fall. I had my schedule all written out, I wrote down my CRNs, and by the time the clock struck time to sign up for classes, I was registered, ready to go. I decided to enjoy that summer, and I didn't think about school until the very day before the fall classes began, when I thought, now would be a good time to log into Blackboard and see where all my classes are located. Well, to my dismay, I was not registered for any classes for the fall. And it didn't really make much sense to me. I had to scratch my head a bit because I registered. I know I did. I followed the same format that I did before. But I was not registered. So I had to re-register. I had less desirable classes, and definitely a less desirable schedule. But nonetheless, I was registered for the fall. It turns out that I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I was with my former girlfriend, because at the conclusion of our relationship, she took exception to the fact that I was enrolling for school that fall. She logged into my Blackboard and took me out of all of my classes. But I'm not blaming her. I'm really not. I fully blame myself because I procrastinated my education. And if I didn't wait until the last minute to check up on all of my classes, then I would have been registered. Well, I see this from a graduate assistant standpoint, dealing with students, where students come to me at this point in the semester not understanding how their weighted average is calculated. They don't know all the components of the course that they're in. They don't know where to find the course schedule, and they've never looked at the syllabus before. My advice, understand what you're getting yourself into before you sign up for something. My second point, accept the fact that life will not get any easier when you take on new tasks. Most of us work. The vast majority of us are enrolled in school. We all have relationships with family, friends, significant others. We try to engage in extracurricular activities, such as Toastmasters. We join sororities and fraternities. We might even play some intramural sports. But no matter what we tack on, we need to understand that life's not going to get any easier when we do take on these new tasks. I'm guilty of this plenty. I tend to say yes to a lot, and before I know it, I have a plate full of food that I can't eat. And it's proven that when human beings are over-encumbered and overwhelmed with things, they shut down as a defense mechanism and do nothing. And this is the fate that we need to avoid. We need to make sure that we accept the fact that life will not get any easier when we take on new tasks. Third, we need to get ahead and to stay ahead where applicable. I'm sure we've all felt the Frisian of being in class and hearing that we have a long paper and presentation due on the last day of the semester. We think, sweet, I don't got to do any work until the day before that paper is due. But we're truly doing a disservice to all parties involved when we do this. As a student, are we really getting the most out of our education when we procrastinate our work until the last minute? Think about it from the instructor's standpoint, when they have to grade hundreds of papers from students that didn't put their best effort forward when they wrote that paper. And for the institution that we're involved in. After all, the university is only as credible as the students that attended that school. And if the students of that school didn't place enough importance on getting their education and being proactive, then that's how good the university is. If we have a long paper that's due all semester long, think about it as digesting it in smaller chunks. Maybe you'll have an outline the week after the paper was assigned. By the midway point of it being due, maybe you have the first draft done. 3/4 of the way due, have your paper totally finalized, proofread, ready to go, and you could focus that last quarter into your PowerPoint presentation and your speech. And on that last day before the paper's due, when all of the other students in your class are in a frenzy to get everything done, you can kick back, relax, and maybe watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta if that's what tickles your fancy. But if there's one thing that I want everyone to remember from this speech, it is do not procrastinate. Understand what you're getting yourself into before you sign up for something. Second, accept the fact that life will not get any easier when you take on new tasks. And third, get ahead and stay ahead where applicable. Remember, everybody, do not procrastinate.